Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with the Sofirn SK1. This here is a tactically inspired flashlight, which I am looking forward to. Now, Sofirn is a company whose products I actually have right now about the most in my sort of existing collection. You know, you have to imagine as a reviewer and somebody who has their hands on a ton of flashlights. Flashlights come, flashlights go, and I was looking through my drawers and I realized that Sofirn, well, there's the most Sofirn products currently in my collection, and even given the fact that I've let an awful lot of products go. And I'm realizing that the reason for that is these lights are just workhorse flashlights. They do their job. They do their jobs well. They're easy functionally. They have great battery life, excellent performance, and they don't break the bank. So these lights are very simple from the standpoint that for me, I can give these to my kids, I can give them to my wife, I can have some in various locations, and I feel like they're gonna do their job well, and again, just not break the bank. So Sofirn products, I have a ton of them in here. The SK1, a tactical offering, and I like this. Multiple different modes, hopefully quality output, but there's only one way to figure that out, and that's to get into this. And so here, as we take a look at the SK1, right away you can see on the tail switch, you end up with a lockout mode, tactical mode, and duty mode. And with the light in the lockout mode, you can still get on that tail switch, and you get into the lowest mode here, which is the moonlight mode, which I do like. I like that for quite a number of reasons. Fact of the matter is you can't accidentally turn this on in your pocket, except maybe lean on the button a little bit and accidentally blip on that moonlight mode. Not a big deal, because in moonlight, you're really only talking about 2 lumens of output, and that's not gonna heat up very much in your pocket. My biggest concern generally is accidentally turning the light on in my pocket in a high mode, melting my pocket, draining the battery, causing damage pretty much to my pants, which has happened on a number of occasions. So again, in the lockout mode, that is very nice. But now as we go to the duty mode, leaning on the button here and a long press, you can see just leaning, just a little half press and staying on that little half press, and the light locks on. Or if I click down, it also turns on. But the long press, as I lean on that, again, coming on in the moonlight mode. So your moonlight mode, I will reiterate, 2 lumens of output, 21 lumens, 25 meters of throw, 200 hours of runtime, 160 candela. So now another little half press. This is the low mode, 20 lumens, 60 meters of throw, 50 hours of runtime, 900 candela. Another little half press. Medium, 240 lumens, 200 meters of throw, 9 hours of runtime, 10,000 candela. Now the little half press. High, 700 lumens, 350 meters of throw, 130 minutes of runtime, 30,625 candela. Little half press, turbo, 1,300 lumens, and then this eventually will dim down to 700 lumens, but at 1,300 lumens, 479 meters of throw, and 57,250 candela. So very nice output, excellent performance, great beam distance. That 57,250 candela out to 500 roughly meters. That's going to be some nice punch in a fairly compact unit, and that is due to the smooth reflector on the inside of that bezel. You can see that it has a little bit of that tactical ring around the outside, just a little bit of a strike bezel there, but a nice design, excellent reflector, and a great LED here on the Sofirn SK1. Rotating now to the tactical mode. In this case, a little half press goes straight to the turbo. So I'm getting that full blast, the full 1,300 lumens, and as I deep press, that's going to go to the strobe. So again, in the tactical mode, you end up kind of mixing things up a little bit, where you go from your turbo to your strobe, and that's pretty much it. So depending on how you'd like to use the light, you do have a couple of different options. Now I do want to point out that in the duty mode, as I cycle between the modes, I do have a memory. So turning the light off and back on, it remembers the last mode you were in. And in no particular case do you have the strobe. So if you want the strobe, you have to swing that over to the tactical mode. And just a couple of final last little details here. This has a 1 meter impact resistance and IP68 water resistance rating. And so now with the SK1 in the duty mode, leaning on the tail switch here, that is that moonlight mode. Now moonlight at 2 lumens, although look at how quality that beam is. 2 lumens, but beaming out and giving you enough light for most general tasks. Now if I click the light in, that will lock it into mode. So now it is locked in. So not just the momentary press, but now fully depressed, and that light is locked in. Again, in the 2 lumen mode, that is more than enough. So that's the moonlight. Little half press. This here is the low mode, 20 lumens. Doing a nice job beaming off into the distance, and this is giving you a good indication of the hot spot and the flood. So generally speaking, mostly hot spot, a little bit of flood. Another little half press here. That's the medium mode. Now the medium mode starts to show you that the flood off to the sides of the hot spot really does protrude. And once you get into the medium mode, it really does a nice job illuminating off into the distance, but also in the foreground. You can see here, illuminating off to the sides, to the left and to the right. So now you get the benefit of not only the 240 lumens, not only the 10,000 candela, but you are now enjoying a little bit of that spill off to the sides. Another half press, the high mode, 700 lumens. That 700 lumens, 30,625 candela. Awesome punch, fantastic punch. This will translate off into the distance, again to around 350 meters. Another half press, turbo, 1300 lumens. The full output here. Awesome hot spot, starting to generate just a little bit of heat. Fantastic flood off to the sides. Again, 1300 lumens, 57,250 candela. This light will punch out to around 479 meters. Another little press here. We're back into that moonlight mode. Full click and off. Switching now to the tactical mode. So switching the switch, rotating it over, half press turbo. So here you have that full blast, 1300 lumens, the 57,000+ candela, but a deep press, that's your strobe. So if you want that tactical strobe, that's going to work out well. You can see it does have an oscillating beam pattern. So for those who do want to have that strobe, leveraging that tactical mode will absolutely do it. Getting off the button there, no problem. So half press, again, turbo, deep press strobe, and then letting go. That's your tactical mode. So again, the Sofirn SK1, very, very nice. Awesome modes and a great workhorse light. And so, all right, guys, there you have it. A look at the Sofirn Light SK1. Just a cool light. I do like it. I think it's going to fit very well in the lineup, and this will actually probably replace a couple of my other Sofirn lights that I have in there and kind of upgrade a little bit and, you know, just move things forward. This is a great flashlight. Fits very well in the hand. The 18650 battery, plenty of performance, but it's the beam output, the smooth reflector and that beam output, and the fact that you get 5 simple modes. So between that long press, low, medium, high, and turbo, good output all the way up to that 1300 lumens. Now 1300 lumens, of course, this day and age, not a huge amount of output, but generally speaking, the way the reflector and the LED come together gives you plenty of candela. And I do always personally believe candela is king. I'm not so worried about the overall lumens, but it's the punch at distance and the beam quality that really does make a difference. So overall, the candela, fantastic. And I like the fact that this has the multiple modes. Now, I will probably personally typically carry this in the duty mode. I don't have too many reasons to want that strobe, but in a pinch, you can certainly flip the switch. Very simple. It's not like you're doing any sort of more advanced programming. I mean, you're literally just twisting a dial, which works very well. So from that perspective, I like that quite a bit. So another fantastic Sofirn light. They always do a nice job. Thank you so much to the people at Sofirn who did provide this for review. Look in the description box below where you can find all of the relevant links for where you can find your own Sofirn products. And if you like this content, do me a favor. Take a look at my Outer Limitless family of channels. Here we are on Outer Limitless lights. But you can follow my Outer Limitless channel where you can find all hiking, camping, backpacking gear, EDC gear, things like that. Outer Limitless 2, which is more on the tactical and firearms side of things, and Outer Limitless Blades, which covers all of those sharp and pointy things. So if you like what you see here, do me a favor, check the description box below for all of my other channels' relevant links. So all right guys, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.